Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face when you are sleeping. Gordon Ramsay is well famous as he has been part of the numerous cooking shows like Hell's Kitchen, MasterChef, The F Word, and others. By the way, in Kitchen Nightmares, Chef Ramsay gives his best to help struggling restaurants all over the United States. To make the restaurant popular and profitable, he does everything he can according to the necessity at the time. While the fact that Ramsay hits the road to make a lot of improvements in the restaurants, still not all of them ended up staying open. So, in today's video, I'm going to cover whether or not the restaurants featured on Kitchen Nightmares are still open. Let's roll. La Galleria 33. This Italian restaurant was opened by two sisters named Rita and Lisa. Both of them were looking to increase the success of their father's restaurant. Although, both were seen showing a less than professional approach such as drinking and smoking in front of their customers. Nothing has worked, no matter whatever they have tried to increase their business. Can you really be surprised? Not even redecorating the restaurant or changing the menu or even lowering their prices. When Ramsay arrived at their restaurant, he was quite confused about the name of the place, but actually, its name closely resembles the name of Rita and Lisa's father's restaurant. Ramsay was already trying to digest the unimpressive decor on the interior when he was informed by something that totally disappointed him. Actually, he was totally shocked after knowing the fact that Rita's ex-husband Doug is the head chef, and therefore, it has become quite difficult to work with him. His expectations became zero, but the worst he could feel was when he ordered some seafood ravioli, gnocchis, meatballs, veal, and chicken marsala. When the food came back, it was very obvious that it was frozen because the veal was extremely overcooked, the meatballs were bland, the ravioli was yuckiest, and the chicken marsala was way too sweet. Chef Ramsay orders a server named Pat to get some dessert from their father's restaurant as it is nearby, so he can compare the taste of both. Alongside Pat, their server Rita and Lisa's mother arrives with the dessert for the Kitchen Nightmares host. After having the dessert, Ramsay could only describe it as delicious as it seems. Then he meets Doug while moving into the kitchen area, who's a horrible chef as he's not passionate about the things that he cooks. He actually seemed quite careless as he was seen continuing using chicken that he dropped on the floor. He finds rotten onions, dead mussels, and frozen pasta while examining the walk-in and instantly forces the staff of the restaurant to throw all the items away. The host of the show was finally able to introduce an exceptional menu after a lot of tedious arguing and correcting Doug's behavior. A next-level menu that would help the restaurant to stand solid on its feet. After doing a lot of efforts and after adding some new decor and furniture, the restaurant became totally new, so the visitors who came in to see the improved and new La Galleria 33 came back loving their new experience. On Yelp, the reviews for the restaurant were very mixed as there are both compliments and criticisms about the service quality and the food. With time, their standards started deteriorating, so they ended up closing down in November of 2018. It means, after Ramsay's help, they were open for 6 years, which is pretty good. The Capri Restaurant. The identical twins, Jim and Jeff Teal, who are the regular customers and used to come there to order the pizza, purchased the Capri restaurant in the hope that their business will start making money. But the workers and the staff, however, didn't seem happy with their new bosses. In fact, one waitress named Mia called their bosses, Jim and Jeff, overgrown boys who are quite immature in this business because they do as little work as possible. It's easy and quite obvious to say that both the twins weren't making much money because they only open their restaurant 5 nights a week, and to save on wages, they don't serve at lunch. How unprofessional. Well, when the host of the show reaches the restaurant, he becomes so disappointed with the dark interior and a rundown exterior. Jeff greeted Ramsay upon his visit and informed him their restaurant remains closed during the day as it opens during the evenings. After knowing all of this, Ramsay thinks that he's joking. Then the Kitchen Nightmares host sits down after following this odd interaction with the both brothers and orders a meatball sandwich, chicken scarpello, and something called colossal pizza. With all that facts, he feels disgusting after knowing that the restaurant's menu is practically falling apart and itself is generally very dirty. Then Ramsay finally asks, after coming back to their earlier conversation, why they aren't open for lunch. In its answer, Jim honestly replies with the fact that both the twins rather be relaxing watching TV or playing poker at lunch timings. When the famous chef's server comes back with the food, she confesses to Gordon Ramsay that it's been years that the restaurant hasn't been changed. Since Jim is too lazy to do work effectively, therefore, the wallpaper of the restaurant apparently looks like it's 30 years old and it hasn't been cleaned for decades. Gordon could tell while tasting their food that the pizza was falling apart, meatballs had been microwaved, and the chicken had been frozen for so long. Then he forces identical twins Jim and Jeff to clean their business for once, after expressing that their service is quite horrible and lazy. He also suggests to them that with the help of Chef Darian and their waitress Colin, they should open their restaurant during lunchtime. Then Chef Ramsay shares that he is finally ready to make some changes in the restaurant in order to transform it by giving it one of the exceptional makeovers and by adding an improved menu in the history of the Kitchen Nightmare. The business sales grew by 20 right after 8 months when the show aired, as they started receiving mostly positive reviews. Not just that, they also won the title of Best Pizza in Eagle Rock. However, despite all the success, they had to close down in September of 2019 since the owners suffered health issues and had declining sales. Leon's. Leon's, which is known as a family-run business, was actually opened by a woman named Rose in 1996, and for a while, initially their business was good. Her son Michael was forced into taking over the restaurant when she fell into a coma because of some severe complications she faced from an operation for over 3 years. Since Leon's had lost a significant amount of money, it was on the verge of closing down when Rose finally returned back to work. They barely got any customers now because of Michael's leadership. In fact, there was a time when their restaurant used to be constantly booked. So, Rose calls out to the famous chef Gordon Ramsay for some help as she was in desperate need of change. At their first meeting with Ramsay, Rose admits that everything related to the restaurant is practically wrong. Therefore, to get back on the right track, she needs his guidance. He meets Trudy while introducing to the staff. He explains that in the restaurant there really isn't anyone who can lead it effectively. Not just that, Rose's son Michael shares with the host that at the restaurant he only works part-time, and during his shift he most of the time sits down. He orders everything from their menu so he could taste their food, and their menu includes over 100 dishes. Once the dishes are placed on the table, and every task is finally complete, he can't tell which one is different and delicious since the food looks nothing compared to best but presentable. Because according to Ramsay's experience, each dish of them tastes awful and was bland. Even every food was way too much garlic, and especially the fish dishes taste the worst. He notices while examining the kitchen that the chefs aren't clearly well trained as their workspace was filthy and dirty to watch. Not only this, he also notices while inspecting the walk-in freezer that the meat and the seafood there is improperly stored and they have placed rotten food which was causing cross-contamination. After that, Chef Ramsay gives Michael some piece of advice regarding cooking and gives one-on-one training so he can improve at least at his basic cooking skills. Ramsay also completely changes the restaurant over the course of the night by renovating the dining room and by installing a new POS system for making orders. Kitchen Nightmare's host added modern Italian and freshly cooked dishes by cutting the menu in half. With a good 3.5 stars on Yelp across 311 unique reviews, today still their business is very much running pretty good. In a revisiting episode, it was revealed that the 2 of the chefs that featured in the show were kicked out immediately, and however, Michael still works there. Ramsay gets angry at Michael when he reveals that he still only works part-time at Leon's, and the rest of his time he spends in a local bar. The show's host convinces him that he has to be passionate towards his work and has to be committed towards his job to be a great leader. Well, sadly, Rosemary, Michael's mother, who was the actual owner of the place, passed away in April of 2014. But her hard work made his precious restaurant still live on. By the way, rest in peace, Rosemary. That's all, guys, for today. Thanks for watching the video, and if you guys found it interesting, I would much appreciate it if you comment down below about the video and leave the thumbs up. Last but not least, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for getting updates related to our latest videos.